EMDR therapy stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy. EMDR is an evidence-based treatment that helps clients reprocess negative and/or traumatic events and help them to essentially live through that process, but to come out on the other side having a positive outlook on their strength and their abilities after this negative event. EMDR therapy stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. When using bilateral stimulation with clients, originally EMDR therapy tracked eye movements, hence the name. So eye movements can be tracked by having a therapist move their fingers back and forth in front of a client. There's also technology called a light bar. In virtual sessions, we use a light bar and audio for the bilateral stimulation. We can also utilize tactile stimulation, which are EMDR tappers, which if you have an EMDR tapper, if your therapist is utilizing them, you will hold one in each hand. The therapist will control the stimulation and it will buzz in each hand over a series of seconds during the session. The great thing about EMDR therapy is the client is doing all the work and the therapist is just there as a guide. If a client is reprocessing a very traumatic memory, the therapist does not need to know every single detail of this memory. And oftentimes, clients are reprocessing memories from earlier in their life, especially if a client is processing a memory from early childhood, let's say a 6-year-old. Your 6-year-old brain does not have the same words that you have as an adult. So when a client is reprocessing that traumatic memory, they are reprocessing it as a 6-year-old in that developmental space of a 6-year-old. It's important for the client to reprocess this memory in the stage of life they were in, because that's where the break occurred or the change in their thinking. So let's say a 6-year-old for some reason felt like they didn't belong in school or within their family. We need to go all the way back to that first memory and to repair the damage there. So it's really important that we get back into the memory with the client, that they're able to be present in that memory. We're not changing what occurred, but we're changing their thought process and their thought process about themselves. So if the client's original negative thought was, I do not belong, by the end of that session, we will instill the positive thought, I do belong, and the client will fully believe that in their mind and their body.